me, especially like dogs and cats. Yeah, and they're honest. You know, they don't care what other people think.
Welcome home, Misfits.
Sorry ya, tadi kita ngomongin tentang perannya hewan dalam hidupmu gitu kan ya, in all of its ways, dan gimana you appreciate them, dan mereka ngasih this calming kind of presence towards you. I feel like, dan selain itu alam juga, do you feel bahwa alam sendiri tuh kasih ruang ke kamu untuk bisa jadi dirimu sendiri? And I guess itu related lagi this concept of a misfit, yang dimana kamu harus selalu berusaha untuk jadi seseorang gitu kan. How does nature plays a role in terms of that?
Untuk nature sendiri sih, kalau aku dalam alam itu aku merasa kalau tenang. Pertama, aku selalu merasa tenang, dan itu memberikan aku wawasan untuk melihat hal yang di luar diri saya sendiri. Jadi misalnya setiap daun itu pasti berbeda, setiap pohon itu walaupun sama jenisnya, dia akan tumbuh berbeda, tapi dia tetap beautiful.
Dan I guess banyak banget aku rasa yang alam itu berikan buat dirimu dan juga untuk kita semua gitu kan ya. Dari tadi itu kayak grounding presence-nya, the beauty of it. Tadi kita sempat bahas juga itu sumber kayak makananmu dari more plant-based, I feel like you were saying, dan animals juga, like we take so much, I feel like, without realizing from nature gitu kan. Apakah konsep apakah konsep untuk kayak memberi kembali, as in the act of giving back to nature, apakah itu sesuatu yang kamu usaha untuk lakuin, atau kayak how do you perceive that concept for yourself?
Menurut for my own personal life, aku selalu berusaha untuk memberikan kembali kepada alam. So cara aku melakukan itu, misalnya kalau aku belanja takeaway, aku bawa Tupperware aku sendiri. Atau misalnya kalau aku belanja, aku selalu bawa tas belanja sendiri. Memang dari dulu seperti itu, sebelum ada plastic ban. Dan juga aku conscious apa yang aku beli. Misalnya kalau terlalu banyak packaging, biasanya aku nggak mau beli. Dan aku juga coba beli bulk. Jadi misalnya minyak goreng dalam bentuk besar, biar aku bisa menggunakan less plastik. So that's what I do in my personal life. Untuk my own waste consumption, dan juga aku recycle my plastic, kayak aku kumpulin untuk kayak kaleng, plastic bottle untuk di recycle. Kadang-kadang aku juga kasih pemulung karena itu penting buat kita untuk recycle. Juga misalnya kalau aku beli sesuatu yang misalnya botol cap atau apa yang bulat, aku selalu potong karena aku lihat banyak hewan misalnya di pantai and stuff, they have this like plastic around them atau gimana. So the easiest thing is kalau ada sesuatu yang bulat, kita potong biar nggak stuck di hewan-hewan. So that's what I do. Tapi dari segi misalnya bisnis, aku berusaha banget untuk mengurangi plastik, especially di industri skincare itu kan banyak hal, especially natural, harus steril misalnya. Jadi beberapa kayak botol itu, beberapa item itu memang sekali pakai karena itu harus steril kan. Tapi aku usahakan untuk pakai plastik sekali pakai, misalnya kayak PET plastik atau HDP plastik. Jadi itu satu jenis plastik yang bisa di recycle. Bukan cuma itu, kayak di toko-toko I do like ada kayak recycling bin di toko Bali. Jadi kalian bisa bawa kembali your plastic bottle, terus nanti aku kasih diskon 10% untuk produk yang sama. So it's just like a trade-off discount. Aku nggak mau kumpulin botol terus kembaliin, aku cuma mau insentif buat mereka. Terus aku juga punya kayak refill station. Tapi untuk beberapa produk, because like I said, untuk natural skincare itu bacterial contamination is a really big part of that. Jadi kayak we can only do it for like soaps, bug spray, household soaps, shampoo is the only thing we can do for the refill at the moment. Tapi I want to encourage people untuk refill their soap. Apalagi sabun itu kita pakai setiap hari kan. Apalagi dengan pandemi, aku bisa lihat untuk demand untuk sabun itu sangat naik. Jadi kalau mereka bisa datang ke toko and then refill, that's really good. So I just encouraging people juga. Aku juga buat kayak ada program CSR that I did di Bali. Itu ada movement tukar plastik untuk beras. It's a really cool thing. Jadi ada one person did like a rice bank. Jadi orang-orang bisa datang ke Banjar bawa plastik dari lingkungan mereka, dan mereka nanti dapat beras in return. Terus nanti plastiknya itu dibawa untuk didaur ulang. So supporting small things like that. So for me it's important karena alam memberikan kita banyak sekali hal. Jadi kita harus bisa untuk kembalikan, tidak cuma mengambil. So just giving back is really important for our future as well.
Exactly. Dan this act of giving back tuh juga, it's not just kayak dari perilaku of recycling and everything. I feel like itu nanti kembali lagi tuh, at the end of the day, it kind of kayak increase our own mental well-being again gitu kan. Karena kalau if we go back to kayak concept of something like positive psychology, di mana our contribution to the world, kayak the act of giving back and everything itu, it's fulfilling, I would imagine. Kayak do you yourself get joy, fulfillment out of it, dan gimana at the end of the day nanti that joy and fulfillment tuh recharge yourself again. Do you experience that for yourself?
For sure, pasti. Karena kalau aku misalnya lihat ada banyak botol-botol plastik atau apa di sungai, I feel like bad. Jadi aku nggak mau contribute to that. So knowing that I'm not contributing to that as much, I feel good for sure.
Dan
because kita sebagai konsumen atau sebagai manusia, we should never forget the power that we hold in terms of what we purchase, in terms of our actions. Itu semua memiliki power. So if we choose to act wisely and make our decisions wisely, we can change so many things, you know.
Dan bahwa kayak planet bumi kita ini mungkin kayak rumah kita yang sebenarnya paling terbesar gitu kan ya. If we talk about the concept of home, it's the biggest sphere that we have. Tapi I'm interested kayak what would your pengertian atau arti rumah home buat kamu selain bumi yang sangat lebar ini, kalau kita mau kayak cut all the layers down lagi tuh apa aja sih yang kamu anggap sebagai rumah, home, sense of belonging? What would that mean to you?
For me, untuk home itu mungkin karena when I grew up in like Bali and then I also grew up in England. So that sense of home is kind of like almost like disconnected. So I really had to make my own home. So it's somewhere where I feel familiar. Yang aku tahu, aku bisa beli roti di sana. Aku tahu kesana kesini. I know the way the city works or the way the place works. Dan juga sesuatu tempat yang aku merasa nyaman.
Di mana kamu menemukan kenyamanan itu? Is it in a person, in yourself, dalam aktivitas? Because I feel like definisi home itu kayak bisa lebar sekali kan, dan bisa apapun kamu mengartikannya. I'm interested for you secara personally, like what does home mean?
Home means like somewhere where I feel safe, meaning like you know, there's shelter, there's running water, there's aircon if I'm living in Bali, and then like heating if I'm living in England. Clean sheets. Also somewhere I'm also like you said, free to do activities like working out, you know, going out with my friends, having that freedom. Also understanding the language. I think that's super important for me. Like, mengerti lah. Aku bisa bahasa Indonesia, aku bisa bahasa Bali, aku bisa bahasa Inggris. Jadi aku like between like London and Bali, aku selalu, atau Indonesia, aku merasa this is home karena aku tahu cara bekerja the society. Aku tahu how I know this is how the society works. I can speak the language. I can get around. Nah, walaupun misalnya aku ke tempat lain di Indonesia, aku tetap merasa okay, ini adalah negaraku, you know.
Dan apakah itu sebuah proses buat kamu? Apa ada waktu di mana this concept of home itu kayak susah banget untuk ditemukan, dan at what point does home starts to feel like home for you?
I think the process of finding home wasn't hard for me karena dari dulu ibuku selalu memastikan kalau our house, like misalnya my own room, itu adalah tempat di mana aku bisa berekspresi. So kalau aku mau mengecat tembok aku pink, dia nggak pernah like control that. So that sense of like this is my space selalu ada dari kecil. Even that's also in England, like my space. Tapi the sense of home was always easy for me, but I think a sense of belonging was always hard because I always felt different and not fitting in. Tapi nanti I found my people. Jadi aku temuin teman-temanku yang juga they're mixed. They also had the same issues as me. So that gave me like a sense of community. And then it also was when I went waktu ke Inggris, I realized that people don't look at me like they do when I was living in Bali. Like I would blend in And I think that was such a sense of relief. Like I was not judged by the way I look, and I could go on the train and nobody's gonna look at me or whisper about me, Versus waktu di Bali, because I am also like, my mom is a single mom. My mom and my dad got divorced, which is really taboo at that time. So people always used to whisper, oh ini kasihan anaknya, Ibu Melanie nggak punya bapak, bapaknya pergi sama istri yang pertama, and stuff like that. So like in London, nobody knew me. They didn't know me as this like child with no dad or like as a mixed child. I belonged, and I think I took that feeling with me, and I knew that no matter where I was, if I had that feeling, I'm gonna be okay.
Itu sekitar di umur berapa that experience happened to you? I mean, it's just
it was about 17 or 18.
Wow, that is such a good timing for you gitu kan.
Yeah.
Karena itu di masa where you would need that, get this sense of belonging peak during your adolescence juga kan. So it was such a good timing di mana itu happened during that time for you.
Yeah.
And I guess juga the need buat self expression juga lagi penting banget around that age. Like apa dampaknya of finding a sense of belonging dalam waktu itu, and how does that affect your self expression, your exploration of yourself? Does it play a role?
For sure, it definitely gave me more confidence, and it allowed me not to be so afraid to be myself. I think walaupun aku selalu kayak, the judgment and stuff is always there, but yeah, it allowed me to be okay, like learning to be okay with who I am, slowly, because that was like a really big process for me. But yeah, slowly it allowed that space. Jadi itu memberikan suatu tempat di mana aku bisa merasakan and also express and also be okay.
Yeah. Dari semua yang kayak udah kita bahas ini and everything that you've been through until this age, kayak apakah ada satu kayak pelajaran paling penting yang berharga dan yang masih kayak kamu bawa terus hingga saat ini, kayak what would that be?
That's a heavy question.
I'll give you time to process it for a moment.
So for me, I think like challenges-nya aku itu adalah stop being so much in my head, I think.
Yeah.
Also allowing my own personal like judgment of myself, express how I feel about people and stuff like that. So learning, I think the biggest thing for me is learning to see things how they are, and then also seeing two sides of things.
Yeah.
There's always two sides, and also even though like I feel strongly about certain thing, I need to also see the other side, because that will really allow me to grow,
Yeah.
And I think this is talking politics, but like, in the like American politics, I think it really drew me, like seeing the pro-Trump and then the Biden. And then I also like, I was on one side more than the other, but I also really wanted to know what is the other side saying, what is their perspective. So learning other people's perspective, being like understanding it and having empathy towards that side and trying to understand each other, not pushing our own values and respecting each other. I think that's super important now in like today's day, karena banyak sekali, I would say perang, kita bisa lihat juga, kita bisa negara-negara lain, there's so much like polarization, this is me, this is what I believe in. Yeah. And then people don't talk to their neighbors because they believe in a certain different thing. And it's like making people like separate when really this is a time when we should really unite. So, being really open, I think that's like for me the biggest lesson, because even as a mixed kid, I feel like culture plays such an important role in how I judge people,
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I don't think that's right. And then like me forgetting, okay, it's actually their culture that's that way. And, we should accept it no matter what. Like kayak orang Indonesia kayak makan pakai tangan kan. Tapi, when I went back to England, aku makan pakai tangan, my grandma was just like, oh my God, what is this child doing? Kayak, but then she forgot, like, that's actually the culture and it's okay to eat with your hands here, really like, it's not necessarily rude, but it's just being acceptance of everything and like learning from that, being less judgy and also being less in your head.
Yeah.
Like I used to judge myself so much by the way I look, my weight and everything. And then it wasn't until aku lihat fotoku masa muda and I'm like, what am I complaining about? Like I was fine, and it was like, not until then I was like, wow, I was really hard on myself. That's also another like really a lesson which I really learned when I turned 30. Like, wow, you were so hard on yourself in your whole 20s.
Yeah. Okay, does turning 30, was that